超市货架上琳琅满目，所有商品最大的共同点其实是几乎背后都有警告标语。
One of my main complaints about warnings is that they've become ubiquitous. With everything in the supermarket is labeled as dangerous, you don't know what to buy.
就连专家都坦言，这些商品警告标语泛滥到消费者根本不知道如何参考。
You and I have probably seen hundreds of warning labels in the last week. And we probably don't remember any of them. And that's the problem with just relying on warning labels. They're the icing on the cake rather than the end-all be-all. As consumers, when we buy product from online or in a store, we assume that they're safe. And we assume that they've been vetted for safety. That's not always true.
一般来说，像这样的警告标语分成2类，一种是属于购买前请三思而后行。
Think twice labels are trying to warn the consumer that they may want to reconsider buying this. So an example could be this product was manufactured in a facility that also processes peanuts, which is a known allergen.
而且根据美国的法规，如果商品成分当中有致癌物质或是有影响生殖发育毒性的成分，都要做出警告。但光是致癌物质就超过800种。
It created a lot of hysteria among firms because almost everything is potentially a carcinogen or a reproductive toxicant. Coffee, for example, has many carcinogens in coffee, but they're very small. And what you want to do is distinguish really tiny risks from larger risks.
另外一种警告标示是属于使用时请注意的标语，但专家说，这种标语通常已经沦为商家为了避免遭到法律诉讼时的挡箭牌。
There's not an attempt to convey information succinctly. It's really an attempt to cover yourself against all the potential lawsuits and problems that might arise, which is not that effective.
长期研究产品消费策略的顾问认为，产品警告标语其实是确保产品安全的下之策。其实，在利用警语之前，还有很多降低风险的程序，但因为各种法规还有责任归属等等理由，才让这种警告标示变得无所不在。
There's something called the safety hierarchy. And the safety hierarchy first begins with designing out the risk. So making sure that you're either eliminating the risk completely, and then from there, if it's not possible to design this risk out, it's really about guarding against it. And that's like a physical guard or like a procedural, like the example of the lawnmower. On my own lawnmower, I have to press a button and pull a lever for it to run.
但这些警告内容到底有没有用？专家也做了实验，替换含糖饮料的警告标语，再观察消费者的购买状况。
And what we found, it was only these graphic warning labels that curbed people's purchasing of sugary drinks. So the text label didn't do anything. And I think that's partly because people kind of already know this, but when you show it graphically, it elicits emotion and feeling, and it's the feeling that really moves us to take pause at our actions. The graphic warning labels decreased people's propensity to buy sugary drinks by about 15%.
但并不是把恐怖的照片放在产品上就一定能达成警告的目的，也有可能出现反效果。
The graphic warning labels, you don't want them to elicit so much shame and negative affect that people turn away. So there's something called an ostrich effect where people it makes them feel so badly that they turn off. And it can even cause reactance where they kind of do the opposite because they're like, oh, you're trying to manipulate me. I'll show you. It needs to be strong enough to make people think twice and capture their attention, but it can't be so strong as to really turn people off.
包括针对香烟盒上的警告标语以及让人触目惊心的图案，都有实验证明效果确实有限，影响长期行为的作用其实并不大。因此，专家也认为商家不应该太过仰赖这些标语，避免真正需要消费者注意的警告标语反而因此被忽视。TVBS 新闻综合报道。
想看最完整的新闻内容，记得下载 TVBS 新闻网 APP。